Initially, I was very uninterested in the idea of a Rarity comic due to the fact that she just isn't one of my favorite characters. She ranks last for me out of the main six, and that's not to say I don't like Rarity, I just like every pony else far more. She really does have a lot of depth to her character that has been thoroughly explored by the likes of Brony Kira, and to be fair, I believe that to be the reason I'm not so fond of her. Level with me here. Pinkie Pie is my favorite pony, particularly because she is easy to understand on the surface with all of her humor and subtleties that make her a great character. When a character has miles of depth, I find them interesting, but a lot of it I forget and it's mostly lost on me. When people analyze these characters to the core, I'm intrigued, but at the same time, I guess you can just take a line from Fluttershy. It's all too complicated for my simple little brain. This is why Pinkie stands out to me more. She's quotable, lovable for her simpleness, and all around just a crazy pony who wants to have fun and make people smile. Nice, straightforward, and easy to understand. But hey, that's just me. So if you like Rarity best, that's fine with me. I appreciate a lot of what people like about her character, being a creative person myself and having sort of a passion for writing. You can imagine my surprise when I was rather impressed upon reading this issue, and it became my favorite of the micro-series. The art took another leap forward this time, from Rarity's hilarious facial expressions to all the references scattered in the background. Right at the beginning there is a sign that reads Kazumi Theaters, which is a nod to Rarity's singing actress, Kazumi Evans. Also, Fluttershy looks like she's tripping out over something. I'd say it was related to Pinkie and Dash looking into the Stallion's changing room, but she appears to be looking past them in a different direction. That's just strange. Even weirder, in the next panel, Twy and AJ look like they're tripping too. Anyways, it's nice to see how Dash mentions that she's excited to get her cider on, showing that her past experience with cider season having made her treasure it in a special way. It's also interesting to see that Rarity turns down Twilight's offer for help, most likely in the spirit of generosity, to her friends, as she would rather have them have a good time at the after party than bore them with the intricate details of her work, as she would better handle anyway. At the party we get some nice references too. Vinyl's eyes now being red, Big Mac looking intimidated by a mare who's hitting on him, seeing as how he's most likely there with Cheerilee. Fluttershy also being extremely nervous around two stallions, and even Trixie is there. We see Dash hiccuping, presumably from downing as much cider as she could, as fast as she could, and Pinkie is partying with a frat pony who seems really impressed with Gummy. After Rarity comes in, we see her literally pass out on Fluttershy, which is adorable. And in the background we see Dash get her face stuck in a mug, just like in Read It and Weep. Twilight tries to sympathize with Rarity's situation, telling her she needs to rest, and she doesn't want her to have a breakdown, a subtle nod towards the times of Lesson 0. As the story progresses, Applejack gets Rarity to go to a spa that she heard about in her Farmer's Roundup newsletter, which has the hick pony from Sweet and Elite on the cover. I thought the story at the end was really nice to flesh out his character and how they met prior to that episode, but Spike was being a real asshole in that last panel. Moving along, we see AJ bonk Rarity on the nose, which felt like a callback to Pinkie's honk moment, and we also see Opal, who looks super cute in comic book form. When her ride shows up, though, we get the first taste that Rarity might be getting into more than she bargained for. Pinkie also tells her not to forget to write, and Dash responding with, "I meant to," is an obvious nod towards Wonderbolt Academy. Rarity is certainly underwhelmed when she arrives at her destination, but I do enjoy the fact that she keeps a positive outlook as often as possible, as that shows a lot of strength in her character. There's also some excellent foreshadowing on the Barnyard Bargain sign, as there is a dodo bird perched on top of it, symbolizing the small mom-and-pop businesses dying out to the mega store chains. Hayseed and Flax seem to notice that Rarity is a bit on edge here, but it's nice to see that they're very tolerating and non-judgmental about the whole situation, trying to make her feel at ease. When she awakes the next morning via malfunctioning rooster, her face is a bit creepy, filled with exhaustion. They put her straight to work in the most dirty of jobs, rewarding her with excellent beauty products at the end of each hard day. The appeal here is that these farm ponies see all this work as rejuvenating and spirit-lifting, whereas Rarity, having a much different perception of the situation, just sees it as pointless work. By the end of the issue, Rarity is growing, as she has an appreciation for all the ruffian hard work when she realizes that that's how the beauty products were made. And this shows her the importance of manual labor from a new perspective.
This is also interesting because seeing as how the quantity made from such grueling tasks is so little, Rarity can relate to it because of her dresses, and because they take a lot of time to make, and a lot of effort to create, but it's a labor of love, something special. Eventually Rarity goes to tell off Flax and Hayseed, intending to leave, but she finds out that these ponies have poor business skills, and are in debt to the Flim Flam brothers. Her generosity kicks in, allowing her to form a plan and get them back on track. It's really sad to see their dreams of running an independent business failing, as it's a common problem to have a great product and no marketing skills. They've also made the mistake of having a bad location to sell their product. Later on we also see that they only charge 4 bits, which is a heavy undervalue for such a great product. When Rarity steps in to streamline the process, it's neat to see her applying the knowledge she has from running the Carousel Boutique while keeping the all-natural feel and the special quality intact. I feel this is what separates her from the greedy business types like Flim and Flam, as they might sacrifice the quality as long as they have enough to sell. After this, a few very funny moments ensue, such as Rarity only knowing what a hammer is because Applejack uses it to hang pictures, and Derpy crashing into their mailbox, which was also very adorable. It's awesome to see that they finally canonized the concept of her being a mailmare now too. As a final piece of advice from Rarity, the gang packs up and heads to Canterlot to attempt to clear their debt situation. Just as a side note, the art on the castle here looks really nice too. On stage is Tara Strong's OC, and behind her is a giant banner reading Art of the Dress, which appears to be Rarity's new fashion line and is a nice reference to the song of the same name. Hayseed and Flax report that they've made nearly 10 times the amount they need to pay back their debt, and even Hoity Toity and Photo Finish love their product, claiming they'll be the ponies that every pony should know, a nod to becoming popular. Right after Rarity declares her fashion show a success, everything turns out just fine. What a happy ending. All in all, this comic kept me engaged with not only the character development of Rarity, but with the story, the lessons, and the underlying tone of saving an independent business. The art was brimming with liveliness this time, and there were so many references, it was hard to keep track of them all. What a gem. I just love it. It's definitely a high point for the micro series. After rereading the Rainbow Dash issue though, it's hard to say which I like more. Regardless, this is a great one. Definitely worth reading, especially if you love Rarity. So until next issue, this is Jay-Z the Comic Brony saying it never hurts to read between the lines.